decided to leave my marriage, and I was in Vermont doing some painting with a friend, and I needed to have a job. And house director, sorority house director came up, and I'm like, well, I could do that in a heartbeat. I was in Alpha Zeta Delta at Marshall University in the Gamma Beta chapter when I was in college, and I had a great experience there with my sorority. We were the best on campus, and still are, I think. The caliber of women was amazing, and everyone aspired to good things in life, no matter what they were doing. This is my septuagenarian year. I will be 70 years old in August, and it's been a great ride. I traveled a lot with my former husband, and I would go, while he was working during the day, I would go to museums. So I was in Paris at Musée d'Orsay, the Tate Museum, or the Tate Gallery in London, wonderful museums, Florence and Rome in Italy, places, and I saw all these beautiful works, and one day I thought, well, I think I'd like to paint. And I had never painted before. I didn't know anybody who painted. And so I went to the art store with my American Express Gold card and bought everything I needed and signed up for a class. So I'm about my artwork. I've done a lot of things in my life. I was married right after college, so I had children. So my children took up my time with, looking for validation, changing a diaper, and getting a child to eat. Those were things that were important to me in my 20s. And it's very different today for young girls because they have much more time to find themselves. In my generation of women, you wanted to get your MRS degree, and that was basically thinking. I'm still working on finding myself. And so I consider myself to be kind of a free woman. I'm not in my marriage anymore. I was married for a very long time. But I consider myself to be free now, being able to pursue some things that I always wanted to pursue in my life that I never did before because of time and so forth. Well, I don't want to be a human doing. I want to be a human being, but I want to think carefully about how I spend my time from now on because I'm aging, and the time that we all have left, which could be, minutes, we don't know. But I want to spend it feeling more substantial in my own right. My parents were a great influence. They always taught me to be honest, have good values, which I still have to this day, and not to be superficial, to have substance to myself, and a very warm, loving family, which is the way I grew up. Always being hospitable, and our house was always open, and my house was always the same. And now the Z house is pretty similar. And I know I'm very lucky because I have amazing friendships. A lot of my friends are artists or have an artistic bent. I just think keeping in touch with your friends, learning the value of them, being able to discuss things that you feel like you can say anything, you don't have to be guarded or worry about what they're going to think because they're non-judgmental. What's next for me? I don't know what's next for me. I kind of believe in the Buddhist philosophy, living one day at a time and living in the present. And basically, I just love living, and I'm usually a pretty happy person.